BSRC, it was on our sniper scope, and we liked it. We did like it, but when we did some due diligence, Al looked into it, and I brought it up in the chat, and that's why being in the chat after Power Hour is very, very important. The benefit of being in the chat goes a long, long way. It's really like a magazine.
Basically, their latest news before they just put out this offering was on the 24th, and it said that they are announcing a $5 million private placement offering. So they announced the offering on the 24th. They announced it. So if you just look into that article, that was the last news. That's the first thing that pops up when you look at the news on TD Ameritrade. And if you scroll down into the article, what you want to look for is the effective date and whether or not this offering is available to exercise immediately. If it's available to exercise immediately, that means that these shares that they're giving up, these $5 million worth of shares that they're giving up, that company or person can sell those shares immediately. So that means they could just that could just put pressure onto the stock immediately, because all these people will probably want to take their proceeds because they got it at a much cheaper price, where when you read into the article, they actually got it at 6 cents. So this $5 million worth that this company is receiving, they gave X amount of shares to this company, they gave it to them, and they're going to sell it. That's how they make their money, is by selling.
You don't know if they're going to sell it, but why wouldn't you?
I mean, if they believe, it depends on the situation. If some of these private placements could be good, like the company, it could be good for the company. They're raising capital, the company that is investing in them feels good about the company. It could be a good thing, but most of the time these smaller companies don't. They are desperate for money. They have a negative cash flow. They're doing very bad, and it's just going to be bad. They're just doing it to raise capital to just dump. So it's literally in the fine print here. And all you have to do is just look into the article, and it says that it is exercisable immediately, and it's at 6 cents per share. And the stock currently is at 13 cents, so that's half the price that they got it at. So obviously they're up over 100%. On that money, on the shares that they were given. So they're inclined to sell. They could sell it right away. And
these companies are.
It says it's. Oh, I'm sorry. The last thing it says that the effective date was around today. Right. So that's the big thing that you want to see is.
It says on or about.
Yes, there it is right there. On or about January 27th, which is today. And if it's going to be on around this date and it's exercisable immediately, there could be some selling pressure on the stock. So, that's just some, good due diligence, because some of these stocks, sometimes they just want to do this stuff. They have to raise capital. They need money. These companies are not, a lot of them are not doing that well.
Yeah, it's really good due diligence, and this is not normal. This is an OTC stock, guys. He could be giving this to his best friend, and his best friend could be selling it tomorrow morning, and he just made $5 million to $10 million, just like that. I mean, you don't know what's happening in the back end, but in the end, we know what that means. And yeah, 5 million shares just got sold to somebody that could sell it right away.
Sell it and somewhere around today or
those
tomorrow.
Shares were from right here. So if you got handed shares from right here, would you sell it right here?
Yeah,
probably.
The majority of them probably are.
Most people do.
Unless they believe it.
And the funny thing about this, guys, is most likely, I mean, I don't know how high BSRC is going to go because we don't predict that, but it was a sub-penny stock, guys. This was just a sub-penny stock. I would not be surprised whatsoever if it goes right back down to that spot.
Definitely look into the news.
Great
question.
On the checklist. That was an amazing question.
On the sniper checklist.
Good questions actually made us drift off, and that did. So great stuff there.